Hello and welcome to my post-Carpentersville Led Zeppelin Tribute Band Gig with Frank Livingston's KASHMIR. I got to tell you, again, like I said in other videos, you feel like you're in a foxhole, kind of. Because what happens is you show up to the gig, right? And you're there, and these days, they're Frank's Amber Vistalite. The four Ambers are Frank's. Everything else is mine. I know I've said this 10 times. I got to find out who I sold mine to and see if I can get them back. But I got to make this fast. The family's returning. But anyway, yeah. So you get to the gig, you unload everything, you stand around for a while. You know what I'm saying? And next thing you know, the other band, the opening bands are sort of done, and then next thing you know, you got to load everything on the stage. Then it's pandemonium. You get up there, and there's usually a riser, and got to remember I have my brog, and then you get the bass drum up, and you kind of get everything, and make sure the heights are good, and you get everything sort of up. And while you're getting the cymbals in position, the sound guys are already putting microphones on. You're like, wait, can you move that a little? And you finally get everything there. There, you might get like a line check on the snare and the tom and the bass drum. You know what I mean? Maybe you need a little guitar in your wedge. And the next thing you know, you're like, all right. And somebody's like, all right, you got to get in the costume. So you run off, you get in your costume. 10 seconds later, you're running back up on stage, praying to God that you remembered to take a leak. And then off and running. Okay, so, and of course, opening up with rock and roll. What I finally ended up doing was lowering my hi-hat back to the lower level I used to, and it's a lot easier to get those eighth notes. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, so all in all, I was happy with it. I did have a malfunction in Jamaica. You know, the second, no, you have to go, but boom. Boom, boom, ba, ba, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? Well, I malfunctioned there. You're sort of there, and I started feeling comfortable. And then what happens is sometimes when that happens, especially with that fill, I have to sit there and really think of the time. If I don't watch myself, I sort of find myself listening to the melody, right? And suddenly at that point, I heard, and then I was just panic-stricken, to tell you the truth. So thank God we kind of got out of that unscathed dish. What else? But I thought it was really good, man. I thought Moby was good. What happens with Moby Dick, though, I get a little panic-stricken. The drums really don't sound beefy. They don't sound, in the audience, they'll sound pretty beefy. Oftentimes when you're on stage, and because of the nature of Vistalites, they sound really boinky. So you want to overplay a little bit. You know what I mean? Like I find myself doing the boom, and then suddenly like throwing crashes in because I feel like I need to... You know, in the original, like the bottom, he wouldn't hit crashes till later, right? But also, too, you want to change it up a little because, sometimes there's the casual fan there. And, you don't want to make the solo too long. You kind of want to keep it interesting. And I threw in Poor Tom. You know what? There's a fella, Jim Geary, God love him. He's like, you should throw Poor Tom in there. And I did. I thought, you know what? I can do, and I'll do it a little better next time, but you can do Poor Tom and speed it up, and then go into the triplets and then on to the outro of the solo, which is what I think I'm going to do. But anyway, thanks to Jim, I threw Poor Tom in there. But also to the crunge, put the crunge in, people recognize it. So it's a little different than what you hear. You want to try and stay as tribute-y as possible, but you also want to spice it up a little. So, but all in all, it was good, man. Frank Livingston was the guitar, is the Jimmy Page up there. It's his band. Jake, I can't think of Jake's last name at the moment. Wonderful guy, man. Great player. In fact, back in the day when I first played with these guys back in 2009, it was like Jake's second gig and my first gig. We played a club somewhere. God, that was a nightmare, man. I was blind doing that. But anyway, so I probably played with those guys for about 13 or 14 months, and then I left. So I hadn't played with them until just last month. Anyway, so Jake's a great guy. He plays the shite out of it. the iPhone earbuds. I want to apologize for that. What happened was I went and scouted them out like a week before my first gig at Wooddale. And Ken Girk, the drummer, the normal drummer, great drummer, super duper good guy. He's like, well, I just use these Apple earbuds. So I'm like, oh, we have a couple of those at the house. So I got a pair of them. My daughter's like, oh, yeah, Pops. Brought them out. And they kind of worked okay in Wooddale. Although my ears get, because I'm sweating like a pig, man. And they get kind of greasy, and for some reason last night, I might have used a different pair. They were just, well, not last night, but on Friday, they were just falling out, man. That really sucked, because the problem is, if they both fall out simultaneously, all right, here's the deal. Since I've Been Loving You, No Quarter, and Kashmir, the song, the keyboards are sequenced just because we don't have a keyboard player. It would be great to have a keyboard player, especially at the end of No Quarter or Kashmir, because you can really put on like some of those more cool fills that Bonham puts in. You can kind of take a few liberties with the time a little bit too, which is hard. But anyway, if you lose the headphones, man, you don't hear everything out without the headphones. So you kind of got to stop or just sort of keep playing, and then Frank will turn off the sequencer and you finish the song. That happened to me a couple times back when I first started with Kashmir. I'd wear headphones. I had the Vic Firth headphones. What the hell I did with them? They're around here somewhere. But I'd have my hair like this, but then I'd have this frickin' polyester formula, like a wig, right? And so, the headphones would be on, so I'd look like Keith Moon at Charlton. Or in the studio I wouldn't have the duct tape. But, there'd be no seal, man. It was hard, man. There were a couple times we had to stop Kashmir about halfway through. Well, not stop, but we just pull the keys out and just play it with up. But anyway, I hope you really like the videos. Remember, there's 4 parts. Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, Part 4. Each one's 33 minutes and change. The last one, I think, is 15. We also, because the camera ran out of juice or ran out of recording time, we didn't get kind of the last 4 minutes or 3 minutes of Whole Lotta Love, and we did an encore of The Ocean, which I really love doing. So that's not on there either. So all in all, the show was about 120 minutes. Let me see, 33 plus 33 plus 33. 99 minutes, and then the change, 100 minutes. Then the 14, so 114 minutes. Add a minute or two for the Whole Lotta Love, 116. Then we did The Ocean, which is about 3 or 4 minutes. Like 120 minutes, man. That's what you get in Kashmirberg. You know what I'm saying? Takes a lot out of you. It does, man. I'm 48. You know what's funny, though? Is I would have thought, and I know this sounds funny. I'm not a big guy. I'm like 5'9" on a full moon, maybe 5'10". But I thought I'd look smaller behind the ambers. They didn't look that big, or I looked bigger. I don't know what the deal was. I just kind of I thought I'd look smaller. Oh, you know what I mean? I guess, But anyway, so listen, I appreciate all my subscribers. I appreciate it. I'm going to do a gig in, it's called the Broken Oar, I think, and it's northwest again. It's way up northwest, not far from where we just did the Carpentersville gig. And that one's 3 hours, so it'll be 2 90-minute sets. So it's a long one, but, you get the 15-minute break in there. Thank God for the 15-minute break. But what we'll do then is we have to add a lot more songs. So I think we do, we throw a little bit of Nobody's Fault But Mine in there. I think we do In the Light, which is to a sequencer. We do a couple other things, man. There's more acoustic stuff, so it's nice. So if anybody is in the neighborhood, September 23rd, which is a Friday or Saturday, I don't know, but look it up. If you want to come, September 23rd, we'll be there. I'll try to get my shite. I will have proper earbuds. At some point, I'll probably get the molded $10 trillion ones. If there's anybody who has a molded earplug company who wants some free frickin' advertising, you want to cut me a deal on those babies. I actually have Sensophonics. There's a company, Sensophonics, that has ear protection. I actually got a set of those almost 20 years ago. So I have those. So they have the mold on file. My head's changed a little, so I jammed those in the other day just to check them out, and they hurt a little bit. But anyway, so I'll get my act together on that. So somebody asked about the cymbal setup I had. I had a Peisty 505 crash model on my left, 18-inch, and on my right was a 505, green label, 82, 83, 84, 505 medium, 20. My ride's just a garden variety 2002 ride model. I mean, in Peisty Bill, it's just RIDE literally stamped on the symbol. My hats were a 18-year-old Sound Edge top, red label, and the bottom, a 1976 Sound Edge bottom, black label. My ching ring was a reproduction because I can't get my original. I have to have somebody clean that out so I can put a modern clutch on. You know, the stems are bigger. I think my family will be home soon. We'll know when Moxie starts barking her ass off. Again, thanks to Nate Van Slyke and Kevin McCullough for recording the show with video. Again, from that angle, he had two dynamic microphones he brought, which actually looked a lot like the Zeppelin Shure Unidyne or something, Sensodyne microphones, you know, with that cool light, except they were black. But I don't know if he might have used those, but we couldn't really get close to the drums. So the sound of the drums is very much, you know, you hear very much the snare side of the snare sound. It's like, you know, which on that underneath, that sound you hear in those videos, me playing live with those guys, that would be probably run through a Uri compressor, which gives it more of that throaty sound, like that cool sound. Anyway, all in all, I thought it went well. So remember, I got my clinic in October 28th, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. That is a Saturday, 3 to 5, October 28th, Saturday. And, oh, you know what I have? I had Rich Sticks. There's a Rich Sticks company. They just kind of started a few years ago. Make 12 pair. I got them as close as possible to the Ludwig 2A, okay? They're not cheap to make. I mean, there's a lot, you know, they had to do a lot of work with their lathe and stuff, or their bits, because the original 2As had a tape. My hands are a little torn up from the gig, so I can't strap. So I'll do the reverse. There's a little bit of a taper on the stick, which is hard to do, and then the bead. So I have those. I'm gonna sell them there. I'm going to sell them for cost. Actually, I might sell them for a little less than cost because I only had 12 pair made. I mean, you get... anyway, so they say on them, it's really cool. It says JB2A by Bonzoleum in the Zeppelin font. Does it say Chicago or maybe just USA? But I'll have those there. So if anybody wants to maybe buy a pair of those, it'll be nice. And then I guess I could get some more T-shirts made. I'm going to get a kind of a cool T-shirt design that isn't so over the top, though. You know what I mean? Anyway. So, anyway, I hope... Listen, again, thanks for watching my videos, my subscribers. Thanks to Rick Hamilton and Drums Etc., I should say. Drums Etc., October 28th, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Rick Hamilton Shop. What else? Oh, yeah, I'll have more videos. I got to have Peisty Bob back. I have to have George back. Man, we got to record George's funk band. He throws Zeppelin in there. You got to see these guys play. You think George is a monster from watching the stuff down here. It's crazy town with the other things. So anyway, thanks for watching. I have my half decaf. You know, even though I'm Shakes the Clown, I still got to drink my coffee. Here, listen to the sound. This is like we'll make like the 7-Up commercial. Cool and refreshing. What do you say? The Uncola. Anyway, so more videos on the way. More drum lessons on the Zeppelin songs with better sound. And I will try to record the clinic in Lancaster. But I don't want to bring, this is like a Nikon on a stand. It's an expensive camera. I mean, if somebody else wants to bring a camcorder or something, I don't want to jeopardize my camera. Because odds are I'll break it. Trust me. So anyway... Again, for the third time, the Irish goodbye. Thanks for watching. More videos on the way. Please subscribe if you haven't. Thank you. And, the transition in rock and roll in the solo at the end, gosh damn it, I messed it up. All right, now we'll adjust the volume. I'll try to fix it. So remember, he does the intro different. I messed up the transition into that. Gosh damn it. So anyway, thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't.